Today, we're going to talk about running ahead of the train. So my client was complaining that their sales calls weren't going well. The customers weren't buying. Sometimes the customers weren't even listening to their pitch. So I asked some questions, and it turns out that the sales manager and the organization really think my client is doing fine. So the issue is not external. The issue is more internal. And so the client was keeping score of how good they were at selling. And so the issue around their conversation was that they weren't getting enough internal points of satisfaction on closing sales, which then highlighted the possibility that perhaps my client was too preoccupied with their own sense of being able to close and not paying enough attention to their customers' needs and to the conversation and to the possibility of extending the relationship, which may not yield in the sales short term, but may develop something longer. And because of that, my client was feeling very unsatisfactory because they were keeping their own score rather than taking this broader view of what was happening. And this is when I offered that perhaps running ahead of the train is not so helpful. So in this case, the train is the relationship between my client and the potential customer, and between the client and the organization, because this pressure wasn't coming from the outside. The pressure was coming from my client's ego getting ahead of themselves and trying to force something that isn't ready to happen yet. So my offer to the client was to slow down, breathe, listen to the customer, and also have a conversation with their ego about how the ego is helpful to them in getting them to make the next call, and how the ego might not be helpful to them by pushing them to close when it's not the right time, when the client doesn't understand what their customer is saying, and when the organization maybe thinks that it's not even necessary to do this. So I hope this is a helpful frame. Please let me know if you find yourself in the position of talking to your ego and how you do that, and how do you know when your ego is getting ahead of you and when it's no longer supporting you. Drop me a line in LinkedIn or check me out on conflictyes.com. Thanks. Have a great day.